Hey guys, it's me, the guy who Mercy mains hate. Today I want to talk about why I hate hero bans in Overwatch. I think they have a place in certain games, like Rainbow Six Siege. I think banning heroes in that game works absolutely fine, because there's no changing mid-round. Right? The problem with Overwatch is because there is changing mid-round, you can manipulate the game into being essentially a situation where you can ban the things that are good against you and take massive advantage of it, especially in a stack. If you're stacking, you have such an egregious advantage with hero bans. Now, I don't support counterpicking as it is right now. I think counterpicking is too strong. I think it's unfair to be able to just pick another hero and get an egregiously large advantage. I preferred how it was in Overwatch 1, where picking a counterpick was an advantage, but you actually had to play well enough to capitalize on the advantage you were given when you swapped. For example, if you were picking Symmetra and Genji, you didn't just win by default, right? A good Genji is just fucking killing a Symmetra, you know what I'm saying? But in this game, your health bar is massive, you do a shitload of damage, the orbs are stronger, everything is stronger, it's all more annoying. You know what I'm saying? The advantage has been greater because all the heroes have been buffed, which means all the heroes' weaknesses have been exemplified or amplified, because the stronger a hero gets, the more vulnerable they are to their weakness. Do you see what I'm saying? Because if you were, let's say everyone's power level was 20, okay, but everyone had their inherent weaknesses. Well, if you buff everyone to 100, their weakness doesn't change because that's inherent to their kit, their design, but everyone's strength can now attack that weakness much harder, which means the counterpicking becomes a lot stronger, right? Do you see what I'm saying with the counterpicking? I think that's the problem with counterpicking. However, it's still a part of the game that you kind of need to interact with. For example, if you're on Circuit Royale, and the enemy team bans Zarya, then the enemy team can just run D.Va Sig or D.Va Orisa all game, and you never have an option to deal with really, really strong poke characters, right? Which is what happened to me. We were in a situation where we needed a Zarya because they were running 5 heroes or whatever that could beat Zarya, or that Zarya could beat, and we had to be able to run it because they were a 6 stack and my team wasn't, meaning their team was willing to swap around more. They were actually trying to build a composition, and yet the only solution I had was, I'm gonna go Zarya. Well, Zarya is banned. Well, what do? I can't really do anything anymore. I can't really play a dive hero because they're just going to mitigate all the dive, and I can't really play a beam character because my comp that I'm playing isn't really fast enough paced for me to be able to get on top of these characters and do anything to them, meaning I kind of have to play Zarya. It's really the only option I've got. I could play another tank that could potentially go through the defense matrix, but the problem is, you're missing out on something, right? I either wouldn't have enough damage to be able to take advantage of the fact that I was cutting through DM, so I wouldn't be able to kill her, or I wouldn't be playing a fast enough character so they'd be able to run around me all day and wouldn't be able to do anything. Meaning Zarya is the perfect pick. But I can't pick Zarya because it's banned. And people might say that's good, yeah, you should have to work around it, but I agree, I think so too, but my issue is that the character that I'm playing against is so strong, the only solution to dealing with them is counterpicking. Because when you're running Orisa D.Va and there's a 1 million HP pocketed Sojourn blasting you from across the map, the only solution is to pick another D.Va. But if I pick another D.Va and my team's not mirroring their poke comp, I will lose because I was the one on Sojourn because they had banned Genji because they didn't want the Genji on their Sojourn. So they had banned D.Va and they had banned Genji. 2 characters that were going to shut down their Sojourn. Or sorry, they had banned Zarya and they had banned Genji. 2 heroes that were going to shut down their Sojourn. So I couldn't play the Genji, and I could go the Tracer, but the problem is, again, they've got Orisa D.Va. There's no way I'm going to be able to get into that backline by myself when my backline is like Mercy Moira, and I've got Sigma Ball or something stupid like that. I just cannot do anything. The only solution would be locking Zarya, and because I'm the one getting off Sojourn to play one of those tank heroes, it means that we're missing out on the Sojourn, which means I can't do that duel anymore, which we're definitely going to lose. So we need the Zarya, and we need the Sojourn, but because I can't play, I can't obviously play the Zarya because it's banned, I just can't do anything. The solution is gone. I think hero bans are a bad excuse for a lack of design, forethought, and balance. Because what happens is, as time goes on, and bans become more and more and more prevalent, and people start understanding the bans more and more, they're going to start understanding how to abuse them to win the game immediately, right? Look at it this way. On Havana, let's say you have 4 bans, and both teams want to ban all the poke characters, okay? You ban Sigma, you ban Ashe, you ban Sojourn, and I don't know, you ban Widow. Okay, so they've still got Alari, they've still got Zen, they've still got Arisa, right? They've still got McCree, still got Soldier. There's still so many characters. There's not enough hero bans to get rid of all of it. So what some people will do is they'll go, okay, well, I'm confident on these 3 characters. I know they cannot ban all these 3 characters. We're going to ban the heroes that go against what the majority of these 3 characters do. For example, let's say I play Ashe, Widow, Sojourn. I know the enemy team can't ban all of them, but I know that they likely are going to see what I'm running and decide to go D.Va and other things. So I'm going to tell my team, ban D.Va, so then I can lock the goofy 6-hand character, and there's absolutely no solution to them because the hero ban prevents them from playing it. Now, it's not a concrete solution because there are other options, but when you remove the best option, it amplifies your actual strength by an unbelievable amount. Which is why, when you load into really high-level ranked games, what people are actually doing is they're not saying, yeah, we're just banning Sombra and Ball because Sombra and Ball are annoying. What they're doing is they're going, okay, I'm going to play Sojourn, Ashe, or Widow. They cannot ban them. I'm going to tell my team I'm going to play that character, and I'm going to tell them to ban D.Va and so on, and all these heroes that are good at dealing with these extremely overpowered characters. And that's my problem, is that the heroes are so overpowered, in a lot of cases, the only solution is to counterpick them, because the balance is so bad, right? And I get it from other players' perspectives. I understand why you would want to ban Azaria as a D.Va player. It makes sense to me. I mean, I don't think Zarya is that hard to deal with on D.Va, but some D.Va players do, and they're going to make life a lot easier for themselves. They ban Zarya, right? But then, let's say you are playing against that D.Va player, and the only solution, in most cases, let's say the only solution in your game is to go Zarya, because your comp is too slow paced to run like a Mei or something like that, and the only way you're going to win the game is you're going to play Zarya. Well, it means that every D.Va player on the planet is now just going to ban Zarya, which means they're never going to have to play against Zarya ever. They're never going to have to learn to deal with the fact that there's a character that deals with them, and therefore they're eventually going to get to the point where there is a Zarya in their game and they lose by default, right? It's the same thing with everything. Mauga players, right? Look at it this way. A Mauga player just goes, okay, ban Ana every game, ban D.Va every game. We ban Ana and D.Va, which means the majority of my counters or Mauga are gone, which means the majority of the solutions to my character being too strong are not available for the enemy team to use anymore. And listen, again, like I said, I absolutely hate counterpicking. I don't think it should be in the game, but people are going to abuse it to the extreme. And because the balance is so bad and the hero design is so bad, they introduce hero bans to try and remedy it instead of fixing it, because they know how bad they are actually dealing with the problems. But you amplify the problems to a egregious amount when you realize people will start using the bans properly. Just wait until people start actually banning the right characters, right? Because there's the reason that hero bans are fine in League of Legends, they're fine in Rainbow Six Siege, they're fine in these games because you cannot change hero mid-round. But because you can change hero mid-round in Overwatch, it makes it absolutely fucking egregious, because all it does is amplify the counterpicking to an unbelievable degree, because you're always going to pick the heroes that were going to be countered by the hero that was, you know, uncounterable by the fact they were banned. For example, if you're a Ball main, or let's just say you see Sombra is banned, you're going to play Doom, you're going to play Ball, right? And these characters are very good, and you're going to abuse the fact there was no solution to the character that you play because those heroes are banned, which is fine. I hate counterpicking, but in the current state of the game, where some heroes are so ludicrously overpowered and so broken, and the only solution is to pick a certain hero, just banning that hero outright gives you a free win in a lot of cases. If you're like not playing against a 6-stack, a 6-stack is going to swap all their heroes around. If you're playing against solo queue players, tough fucking shit for them, buddy. They just have to coordinate a 6-man change to try and deal with the fact that a certain character's banned, and if they can't, they lose the game. And I think that's lame. I think they're a bad excuse for not wanting to balance the game, and I think they're a bad excuse for not wanting to design the game properly. Have a good day. I love you all. Goodbye, 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 bye-bye, goodbye, goodbye.